manifest. They're developed. Like patience, determination, fearlessness, kindness, focus, energy, forgiveness. All of these qualities develop gradually as the mind purifies. And along with that, all of the negativities of the mind, the asuri gunas, they get reduced. So things like anger, jealousy, hatred, fear, all of these things start reducing. So really, when it comes down to it, if you could just find a way to purify your mind, that's it. That's all you have to do. You become a better person in this world and you move closer to your goal of God realization. So what's the most effective way of purifying the mind? The mind can be thought of as a cloth, like a piece of material. If you hadn't washed it in many, many years and it became caked with dirt, it was just filthy, that's like an impure mind. What's the best way to wash that? Have some 100% clean, pure water and have that water run over it. And as it runs over it, it gradually takes some of the dirt with it. And the more the water washes over it, the more the dirt comes out of your cloth. And the cleaner and cleaner it gets, eventually it becomes 100% pure. This is what we need to do with our mind. The Bhagavatam tells us a secret about this. Shri Krishna is telling, Vishayan dhyayataschittam vishayeshu vishajjate mamanusmarataschittam mayyeva praviliyate. He says that mind of yours that needs to be cleaned, if you attach it more in the world, you dwell upon worldly pleasures and attachments more, what happens? It becomes more engrossed in the world. But if you dwell upon me, how do you dwell upon him? Roop dhyan, how else? Think about him, desire him, long for him. Think about your relationship with him. He's mine. That means your mind is getting washed by the pure water of Shri Krishna. Thinking of his leelas does the same thing. Chanting his name with the faith, with this feeling in your heart that he is in his name, that does the same thing. So Roop Dhyan has the power to purify the mind. It is the most effective way of purifying the mind. This is called Antarang Sadhana, internal practice of devotion. Is it possible to purify the mind through external practices of devotion? No. No more than it's possible to clean your mind by washing your body with soap. You can wash all day long. Your mind won't get purified by that soap and water on the outside. You need to get something pure on the inside. So we have to bring Shri Krishna into our heart. And the way to do that is Roop Dhyan. So regarding this type of internal devotion where we attach our mind to God, the Bhagavatam tells us, Dharma satya dayopeto vidyava tapasanvita madbhaktir madbhaktyapetam na samyak prapunati. Shri Krishna is telling Uddhav about bhakti, and he says there is nothing as purifying as bhakti. He mentions two other things which are very great in the world. If someone follows all the rules of dharma, being a good person? What is your duty? What is your family duty? What is your social duty? What is your religious duty? And Satya Daya. While doing this, he maintains truthfulness and Daya, kindness, forgiveness, mercy. That's a great thing. And another great thing, Vidya, knowledge, true knowledge with tap, meaning renunciation and control of the senses. That's another great thing. But neither of those things, na samyak. Samyak means in full. Na samyak prapunatihi. Prapunati means purify. Those things do not have the power to fully purify the mind. Mad bhaktya. Only through my bhakti, Shri Krishna says, can the mind be fully purified. Bhakti punati mannishtha shvapakanapi sambhavat. He says, Uddhav, even the most fallen person, the most sinful person, can be purified quickly through such internal devotion to me. Even Shankaracharya, who is more famous for teaching about formless God, yet he also said, Shuddhayati nantaratma Krishna padam bhoja bhakti mrite. He says the mind cannot be purified without devotion to the lotus feet of Shri Krishna. Exact words. So Rup Dhyan is a very special thing. And it's very easy to do because we have so many options. As I've been explaining to you the last couple of days, you can use any of your senses. So you try to see Shri Krishna in your mind. You can also use your sense of smell, taste, touch, hearing. Use all of your senses to sense Shri Krishna's presence with you. Maybe you're not a visual person, then use your other senses. Just feel him close. I also taught you that you can do Viraha style, Milan style, meaning Milan, in your meditation, you're meeting with Shri Krishna. Or you can alternate and change it to Viraha, where you're longing to meet Shri Krishna, you're waiting for him. So there's lots of options. But there's even more options. Bhagavatam says, Tasmat kenapyupayena manah Krishno niveshayet. Same thing Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Yena kena prakarena manah Krishne niveshayet. Think of Shri Krishna, bring him into your mind any which way. So let's say you're thinking of Shri Krishna, you've made Manomayi Shri Krishna in front of you, and then you think, okay, he's got that same ban mala on that he had yesterday. Let me change that. I'll put a new flower garland on him. You know what? That's a really big crown. I'm going to put pagari on Shri Krishna today. Wrap a cloth around his head and put his peacock feather in that. You can change his decorations any way you want. You can think of Shri Krishna any age, from a baby to 16 years old. Scriptures tell us that Shri Krishna's normal form is as a 16-year-old boy. But even if you want to think of him as an old man walking with a cane like your grandfather, Shri Krishna can be your grandfather. You have total freedom. Yena kena prakarena. Any which way. There's no right or wrong. Shri Kripaluji Maharaj said, you like playing cricket? And Probably if you're like some cricket fans I know, they think of cricket a lot. So they might be trying to do Roop Dhyan on Shri Krishna and their mind goes to a cricket game. Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says, then put Shri Krishna in your cricket game. Give him a bat and bowl him. Get him out. Play cricket with Shri Krishna. You can't. Shri Krishna cannot be affected by anything in this world, nor by anything in your meditation. So you don't have to think, oh no, I can only meditate on very pure things. If Shri Krishna is there in your meditation, it is pure. He's purified your cricket game. So you have total freedom to think of him any way you want. Dress him any way you want. If Shri Krishna took avatar today, in your house, for instance, he would have to go to school like the other boys. Do the other boys here wear dhoti and shawl to go to school? No. They might have to wear a suit and tie, depending what school they go to, or kurta pajama. They have to dress. Shri Krishna would also have to dress according to the times. So if you want to dress him in modern dress, go ahead. Dress him any way you want. Trinidad is so beautiful. Think of him in any scene, your favorite scene here in Trinidad. Some place on a hill, some place by the ocean, in your very own house. You have total freedom. As long as your mind is in Shri Krishna, your mind is getting purified so that water is running over and carrying away the dirt, cleaning out your mind. It's just a gradual process. Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bhi Shravana smaranarhani karishyan nitike chana. Bhagavatam tells that why did Shri Krishna even take avatar? So that he could make his leelas known in the world and give us material to meditate on. That's it. Shravana smaranarhani. You hear the leela, then you do smaran of it. That's it. That's the main reason that he took avatar here. So we're going to do a little bit of kirtan right now, and what I would like to ask you to do is to do your own meditation with Shri Krishna. Make up your own leela if you want, your own leela in your own house or somewhere outside, anywhere you want to be. You could also think of it in a more traditional way, like think of a leela of Bhagavatam or a leela described by Surdas ji or Shri Kripaluji Maharaj. Or you can just make up your own scene, your own leela. It's totally up to you. When your mind wanders, just notice and bring it back, because mind does wander. When it goes, it's going normally to the things we're attached to, so it's normal. Just accept that and bring it back to Shri Krishna, or put Shri Krishna in that thing that you're attached to. Your mind goes to a person. Instead of struggling to bring your mind away from that person, keep thinking about that person, but see Shri Krishna in that person. That's also a perfectly valid way of doing Roop Dhyan. So let's spend a couple of minutes doing Roop Dhyan together, along with a little bit of Kirtan. So we can all close our eyes and begin to do Roop Dhyan. Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe
गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे 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 गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे गोविंदा
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 राधे राधे गोविंदा राधे राधे गोविंदा
राधे राधे
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Oh Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
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 Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda,
Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
Radhe Radhe Govinda, Radhe Radhe Govinda.
बोलो लाडली लाल की. The Bhagavatam is special for two main reasons. One, I explained to you about the bliss which is imbued in the Bhagavatam, which was enough to evoke the mind of Shukadev Ji Paramahans out of his divine samadhi. So great is the bliss of Shri Krishna's Leelas, which is imbued in the Bhagavatam. In addition to that, the philosophy of the Bhagavatam is very special. In Sanatan Dharma, we have such a wealth of scriptures, but for one person to try to study all of that in one life is impossible. And even if you could study it, understanding it is another matter. Reconciling all the apparent contradictions between the different scriptures and even within one scripture, it's very difficult. Two of our most important scriptures are the Upanishads, which are part of the Vedas, and the Brahma Sutra, also called the Vedanta, written by Vedavyas. In the Bhagavatam, Vedavyas ji says, Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam Sarvopanishadamapi. He himself is the author of the Vedanta. And after he wrote the Vedanta, the Brahma Sutra, great big vyakhyas were written by great saints like Jagadguru Shankaracharya, Jagadguru Ramanujacharya, Jagadguru Nimbarkacharya, Jagadguru Madhvacharya, and also Vallabhacharya ji. They all wrote long explanations of this Brahma Sutra. And there are many differences that appear in their explanations, in their bhashyas. Vedavyasji says there's no need to go into any of those explanations. Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam. This Bhagavatam that I wrote is the explanation of the Brahma Sutra. I already gave the explanation right here. Not only that, Sarvopanishadam api. Api means also. Sarva means all. It's also the explanation of all of the Upanishads. So you want to understand what's in Vedas, what's in Upanishads, what is Vedant? Understand Bhagavatam. Shukdev ji says, Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Shri Bhagavatam Tadrasamrita Triptasya Nanyatra Syadrati Kvachit. He says, what's the need to go into any other scripture? The sar of the whole Vedant, of all Upanishads and Brahma Sutra, the sar, the essence of that has been put in the Bhagavatam, plus the ras is there. Ras means the nectar of the bliss of Sri Krishna's Leelas. So why to go anywhere else? The third shlok of the Bhagavatam is Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukha sanyutam muhurho rasika bhuvi bhavuka pibat bhagavatam rasamalayam. The Bhagavatam is Rasam Alayam. Alay means home of or abode of. Just like we say Himalay. Him means snow and ice. So the Himalay is the abode of snow and ice. The Rasam Alay, the abode of Ras, is the Bhagavatam. So Pibat Bhagavatam. Shukdev ji says, just drink that Bhagavatam. Drink the ras of the Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. Phal is fruit. So the ripe fruit of the Vedas. See, Ved tells that raso vai saha. God is ras. But that ras isn't imbued in the Vedas. So it's like saying Shri Krishna is divine love. Shri Krishna is ras. But how to get that ras? You get that ras from the Bhagavatam. So the Bhagavatam is the ripe fruit of the Vedas. So it's very special. Today I want to share a little bit more of the philosophy of Bhagavatam, just to illustrate to you how in explaining the Siddhant, the Bhagavatam just takes all the philosophies from the various scriptures and reconciles it into simple and powerful explanations. In the 11th canto, in the beginning of the 11th canto, there's a conversation that's told that happened between a great king, Nimi, and 9 Yogishwar, 9 great yogic masters. God realized yogic saints. Nimi was also doing a yajna, and these 9 Yogishwar came and he asked them to be seated nicely on an elevated seat, and he started asking them questions. So in response to one of his questions, these Yogishwar explained about the whole situation of the soul in one shlok. Us, all of us, why are we here? Why are we in this world? Why are we failing to experience God? Our whole situation summed up in one shlok. Bhayam dvitiya bhiniveshatasya dishadapetasya viparyayo smriti. Souls are turned away from God. Therefore, asmriti. The word that we use is vimukh. Your mukh is your face. So your face and God's face are not facing each other. His face is facing you and your face is turned away. So souls are vimukh. And what happens when you're vimukh? Well, if you're not turned towards God, what are you turned towards? Maya, the world. So then Maya has control of you. And Maya causes something very important to happen. Asmritihi. Maya makes you forget your true identity as a soul. And if you forget you're a soul, you forget that you belong to God. So if you don't believe yourself to be the soul, what do you believe yourself to be? The body? No other choice. Either you're the soul or the body. And once you believe yourself to be the body, what are you going to desire? Obviously happiness, but how are you going to look to fulfill that happiness? In the world. Then what happens? Then instead of doing smaran of Shri Krishna, you do smaran of the world. I need this thing. I want this thing. If I get that, I'll be happy. So what are you doing? Instead of bringing the nice clean water of Shri Krishna over your mind to wash it out, you're dunking your mind back in the mud of the world, of Maya. The more you think about something, the more you desire something, the more attached you become to that thing. Then, according to your attachments, you're reborn. Then in the next life, you again do the same thing. You build more attachments. You further strengthen your faith that my